Coming up in this video, I'm upgrading my 240GB SSD drive to a bigger and faster NVMe drive using a super simple tool that absolutely anyone can use. You don't need to be a computer whiz to be able to clone your old hard disk onto a new drive, and I'll show you how to get that done in just a few easy steps. This video is sponsored by EaseUS, who make various software applications ranging from data recovery tools, partition managers, backup and restore applications, plus many others. And in this demo, I'm going to be using EaseUS Disk Copy to clone my current 240GB SSD onto a 500GB NVMe drive. EaseUS Disk Copy allows you to clone between any combination of HDD, SSD or NVMe drives. And you don't always have to clone onto a bigger disk. EaseUS allows you to clone onto smaller drives as well. As long as the new drive is large enough to hold the actual amount of data currently on the old disk, you're good to go. I'll head over to the EaseUS website and I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check out the software for cloning your hard disk onto a new drive. I'll click on Free Trial to download the Disk Copy software. Then I'll click on the downloaded file, which will automatically install the application and create a desktop shortcut. The first time the app runs, you'll need to select a plan and you have three options to choose from. If you're only doing a one-off upgrade to a new disk, then the 1-month plan is a good option. But if you're going to be cloning disks more often, then perhaps one of the other options may suit you better. Once you've chosen a plan, you'll receive a license code which you can then paste into this box and click on Activate Now. You'll then have full access to all the features of the app. Here we can see my current 240GB SSD. The app doesn't do much when there's only a single hard disk installed, although you can access the online help by clicking on the settings button. And this gives you access to some great documentation on how to use the app. There's also an option to create a bootable disk, which I'll come back to a little later in the video. I want to replace my 240GB SSD with a 500GB NVMe drive, which will not only double the capacity, but will also speed up my PC, as NVMe drives are much faster than the standard SSD drives. But I want to copy my current installation of Windows, including all my apps and data, to the new disk, so it looks exactly the same on the new drive. To copy the OS, apps and data, I need to clone the disk. To do that, I need to install my new NVMe drive alongside my current SSD, so I'll shut down the PC and connect up the new NVMe drive. I'm back at the desktop and I've now got both my original 240GB SSD and also my new 500GB NVMe drive installed. Let's go ahead and run the Disk Copy app. It will detect that a new disk has been attached and ask you if you want to migrate your OS to the new drive. You can say no to this prompt and then manually select your options, but I'll go ahead and say yes, which will simplify the cloning process and take you into system mode, where it automatically detects your old disk as the source disk and the new disk as the target disk. By default, Disk Copy will clone your existing disk to the new disk and automatically resize your Windows partition to use the extra space. This is probably what most people will want to do. You do have the option to change this though, and you have three options to choose from. The first one is Auto Fit the Disk. This is the default option that I just mentioned, where it will copy your existing partitions to the new disk, but it automatically resizes the C partition on the new disk to use the extra space. The next option is Copy as the Source, and this will copy your existing partitions exactly as they were on the old disk. So your C drive partition will end up being the same size as it was before, and then you will have an extra partition with the extra disk space. Choosing this option will mean you have another drive letter like D: or E: that points to the extra disk space. And the last option is Edit the Disk Layout. This is similar to Copy as the Source, where you will end up with an additional partition. But this option allows you to manually specify the size of the partition so that you can make the C drive partition smaller in order to give more disk space to your additional partition. Personally, I think the best option for most users is to use the default option to auto-fit the disk, so I'll select that and click on Proceed. The cloning process will then begin, and you get a progress bar and summary screen along with an estimation of how long it will take to complete. Sit back and relax. This could take a while depending on the size of your existing disk and how much data there is to copy. I'll skip ahead for the purposes of the video. Once the cloning is complete, you'll be asked if you want to automatically adjust the boot order to boot from the new disk. If you intend to keep your old disk installed and use it as an extra data disk, then select Automatically Adjust the Boot Order to boot from the new disk. This will ensure your system boots from your new disk going forward. You can then format your old disk and use this for extra storage. But I'll be removing the old disk, so I'll select to set the boot order myself later. I'll shut down the PC, remove the old disk and just leave the new NVMe drive attached. I'm back at the desktop and now I'm back running on a single disk. If I open File Explorer, we can see the new 500GB NVMe drive. I've now completed the upgrade to a new disk thanks to the simplicity of EaseUS Disk Copy. There's one more thing I want to show you, and that's how to create a disk copy boot disk. Although the Windows app does a good job of handling open files that are in use during the cloning process, the only way to 100% guarantee there are no open files is to boot up outside of Windows and clone the disk. EaseUS allows you to create a boot disk which you can then use to boot your PC directly into the Disk Copy app without being in Windows. This guarantees that there won't be any open files running during the cloning process. I'll go back into the Disk Copy app and click on Create Bootable Disk. We can create an ISO file, burn a DVD, or create a bootable USB disk, which is the option I'll go for. So I'll insert a USB flash drive and then the app detects that a new disk has been detected. I'll click on Update to update the disk information. We can then click on Create, and the first time you ever do this you'll be prompted to download some files from Microsoft. Go ahead and click on OK and your bootable media will be created. This could take a little while to download and copy to the USB disk, so I'll skip ahead to the end. We've now created a bootable disk, so I'll reboot and boot from the USB disk to show you what it looks like. By the way, you can get away using a very small USB flash drive for this. The amount of data it needs to store is less than a gigabyte. Okay, the PC has booted from the USB disk and automatically loaded the Disk Copy app. We're in a mini version of Windows here which is called WinPE, so the main operating system is not actually running right now, so you'll be able to get a perfect clone of the original disk. Okay, that's it for this demo. As you just saw, EaseUS Disk Copy makes cloning your hard disk so simple that anyone can do it easily. If you'd like to check out EaseUS Disk Copy, here's a link to the software download and I'll also leave a link in the video description below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the demo and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.